Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I just want to share really quick. Several of you have successfully fulfilled your homework assignments. I'm very, very glad. There's a gold star for you. There's a gold star for you. Um, Everyone who actually did the homework, you get to put $3 towards a game of your choice. So, I'm not actually joking. I know Blue Wind did. And I know that Blade Traval did. I know Mr. Red did. And Noctis just did. Yeah, there was homework. So, at the end of the stream last night, I said, okay, here's the deal. I want you to get... Because we haven't... This is going to sound strange, even though we're in the second to last mission of the game. But they haven't actually shown what the plot is yet. Because bad writing. So, I wanted everyone to guess, what is the plot? Like, give me your legitimate, honest guess. Like, what do you think the plot of this game actually is? And yeah, anybody who knew, or anybody who knows, or anybody who decided to look it up, cheating. But I have gotten some fascinating guesses, quite a few from quite a few people. I'm not going to say if any of them are right or wrong. But thank you, everyone, for doing those. So it has been interesting, I think is the word I'm going to use. Reading everyone's ideas. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that hurts. I did what... Oh, I wanted to make that comment, too. That if there's one sign that I'm old, it's not that I'm less capable. It's that recovery takes longer. The actual drive was a week ago today. In fact, a week ago, right this minute, I was already on the road. I was already on the highway. And I am still not doing great. But without further ado, let's go ahead and do this. Second to last stage.
The Babel is an overdrive system?
That's indeed the case. Although it must be hard to believe, I know science is never wrong.
I can't even believe in myself, let alone...
Listen to me, Aya. You're here. You're real. If you're hurt, it's okay to cry. I mean it. Letting your emotions out will help heal your wounds. I know it will. How sweet your tears must taste.
Does this guy have to be as creepy as possible?
Regretting what you've lost will deny you of a future. Of course, to live also means to hurt. And you will, repeatedly.
Ladies and gentlemen, dialogue.
A new enemy has recently been detected, trying to take the Grand Babel from the Twisted.
A new enemy? Like a new species or something?
Yes, an intelligent species that can take the form of humans. I've dubbed them the High Ones. They're a new and powerful race.
Even though we've been fighting them since the first mission. Every boss is a high one.
I presume you know him.
Chief.
What? Okay, negative to story. This isn't anything. This isn't dialogue. This isn't sequencing. This isn't plot points. I'm just... I mean, honestly, Darkrai, the similarities between this and Devil May Cry 5 are wild. Like, of all the things I was expecting, that is not the thing, right? Yeah, we're playing as Lightning, Game Geek. Isn't that great? All I have to do is beat the game 30 times to access this. No, I'm not joking. Here's the funny part. Back in the day, there was actually another way to do it. You had to get like all of the Square Enix stamps. They had a whole thing where you could go to their website, and like they had a couple of things you could do on their website, and doing so gave you like a token or a stamp or whatever, because you could log in with your account on your PSP and on the website, and that would give you stamps, and the stamps gave you in-game stuff, all cosmetic-y stuff. So that was probably the intended method to get the Lightning outfit. But since obviously that site does not exist anymore, the PSP cannot log into that anymore, and none of that actually is viable anymore. Nowadays, if you want to play as Lightning, you beat the game 30 times. Oh, that'd be... Someone do me a favor and look up, what was Devil May Cry 5's golden number? Hi, Cinematic Sith. Happy birthday. Or cheat, obviously. That's not 200. Okay. Oh yeah, someone asked a question. I think it was Blade Tavon. You asked how the golden number works, and I answered it in my head, and I've forgotten the question now. Do you remember what it was, Blade Tavon? It was about the golden number and about, like... It was about the ratio. You asked if a game which has very low variance on the negative side would boost the score, to which the answer is yes. But when I say boost, I mean multiply. So multiply by negative means more negative, and multiply by a positive means more positive, right? So less variance means worse, and also better, if that makes any sense. Yeah, exactly. It is literally a multiplier. It's by design. And thankfully math works that way. Hey, D20 Archon, thank you as always. We go to France, push-ups. How did you know? How did you guess? Noctis, by the way, you didn't get to pick something, so pick something to put your thing towards. Biggest case of whiplash, like within the game act? So I'll put that towards dispatch, cyberpunk, homeworld. Damn it, Darkrai, no. Hang on, I just had a random thought that has nothing to do with anything. Give me 1 second, please. Okay, thank God. We're good. We're good. So I was thinking about the fact that the Google backend was changed, and I just double-checked the question bot to make sure that it was actually logging questions. It is. We're good. Because I'm going to need that come Friday, because that's pretty much why the question bot even exists. Sin and punishment. So a game that... Well, let's call it what it is. So, okay. What Ect is referring to is what I call Sunshine Syndrome, because I like alliteration. So named after Super Mario Sunshine, a game that's actually really, really good, which shifts into being really, really bad at a certain point. Most games do that. But the worst example of that? That's tough. What do y'all think? Games that start off really solid and just nosedive. Or vice versa. Although that's less common. Okay, so... We have several antibodies. We got a restock, a re-raise. Nice. More restocks. Baldur's Gate 3 at launch. I might drop that in. Can I just hit this forever? I still don't understand this retry mechanic. Like, is this literally just rerolling the dice? Is it preset? I don't understand. And it's not explained. That is so weird. Whatever. Borderlands 2. Let's do this actually right here. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. How does a malignant come out of that when there's no malignant thing even there? How does this mechanic work? By the way, I should mention I looked up a guide on this, and all it told me was like, here's the stuff you should prioritize, and here's the stuff you want. And it's like, okay, but how does it work? And the answer is, like that's the answer is, Wow, we just don't. So, okay, you're probably thinking, lore, you can't really fairly say all the assault rifles suck because you haven't been upgrading them. You'll notice I only have access to 2. This one is just garbage. This is my impact weapon. I want an impact weapon because what assault rifles are good at is staggering in this game. I only have access to the 1 shotgun. Sniper rifles suck. And rocket launchers suck. You get like 3 rounds of a rocket launcher. Like, I now have access to another pistol, but then I have finite ammo, which kind of defeats the point of the thing. Hell, I'm almost completely upgraded. Or at least as upgraded as I can be on this stupid thing. When it comes to the pistol, too. And I'm on the second to last mission. I know. They expect you to do the game over and over and over. And that's why I'd have access to so little stuff, is they expect me to keep playing the game in order to access more customizations. Yeah, I don't anticipate liking Silksong very much. Whether it's a good game or not is different, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like it. Sure, we'll go and grab this. Why not? Here we go. Impact bullets, that's what I want. I didn't like Hollow Knight this much, although a lot of people tend to forget that Hollow Knight scored very well. Very, very well. What? What do you want from me? Hang on a second. I actually can't buy the weapon I have unlocked. This game, man. Whatever. Let's just go. Let's go. Let's grab a hard save. I do not like runbacks. I never have. I legitimately don't think they serve much purpose in terms of game design. I was asked that recently, so that's something that's on my mind. Okay, time to go fight the Grand Babel.
I'm coming for you, Hyde. I owe you. I'm Special Agent Aya Brea of the CTI. And my final mission is about to begin.
No, we got one after this.
The soldiers still alive in the Grand Babel have formed a suicide squad. No one's commanding the troops at this point. Each unit is acting on its own. All of this to protect New York.
No. This is probably to save the planet, you freaking moron. Or did you forget your own plot point that this thing is stretching across the continent right now? Which makes even less sense. Well, yeah, one of my biggest by memory complaints about the game design of Hollow Knight was the traversal. It was a pain to get from point A to point B.
Let's do this. Shoot!
Hi, Mr. Red. I would like you to put $3 towards a game of your choice, as a thank you for accomplishing the homework.
Who's next?
If you don't mind. Also, if Blue Wind's still on, you should bug them to do the same thing. I mean, having reviewed both games, Archeon Vale, I would say Super Metroids is better in literally every way. But you're probably thinking more specifics than that. I'm not sure I could do that right off the top of my head. Now, Ori 2 has better than both, and Metroid Dread has better than everything. Like, I'm sorry, Metroid Dread excels at just flow of traversal. It's kind of crazy. There's one thing that game crushes every other Metroidvania on, it's that.
Let's do this. Shoot!
No, not the rewrite. We're not there yet, Mr. Red. I asked you to... Did you not? Am I misremembering? I asked you to give me your guess as to what the plot was. The level design is not better in Dread than in Super. As weird of a sentence as that is. Although it does have very good level design. But the traversal itself is much better. Like, moving in... No, you could answer the homework, Mr. Red. This is your last chance, and it's done. Alright, we're done. This is pod racing. Oh, my handgun just leveled up. Oh, hang on. I don't have a mod. I gotta deal with it myself. Die, bot. You don't belong in this world. Literally, you actually don't. I can't move.
Fire!
This is just a trash mob, Night Overlord. Let's get our health back. There we go.
These are Hyde Boar's tracks. It might be hard to believe, but...
But what? But what? Finish your sentence. Got another one. Do I have to kill these ones? I'm gonna have to kill all of them. Yeah, let's... Oh, hang on. Yep, I have to kill all of them. But yeah, by the way, this is on the difficulty where the enemies have the least HP and do the least damage.
Let's do this. Shoot!
Just to emphasize how silly this all is. So yeah, you remember how I was praising the brickwork earlier? I would like to argue a negative for brickwork for pretty much everything to do with this stupid tree. It is almost the exact same issue I had with the Cliff-Off in Devil May Cry 5, but worse somehow. It's generic and boring and hard to see and just bad. Yeah, this is a trash encounter with 2 enemies that I'm still fighting, by the way. Earlier was a trash encounter with 1 enemy. Yeah, I don't want to speak ill of King's Field 4 lest Mr. Red kill me. But honestly, yeah, a lot of the later areas in King's Field 4 did not know what they were doing visually. Uh-oh.
Let's do this.
Yeah, we're dead. Oh, the super mode's kind of terrible, frankly. Yeah, I was just thinking that, Archeon Vale. It actually probably wants me to... it probably wants me to wait on doing my finisher until the animation is closer to done, because, yeah, I actually lose animation time. Or I lose liberation time because of animation time, which is just different. Yes, this is a Tabata game, and it shows. This has his greasy fingerprints all over it. If you'll forgive me for being extremely insulting, I have never liked Tabata as a writer. Hang on. I actually don't remember off the top of my head. He's worked on a bunch of stuff for Square, like a bunch, but give me a second. Okay, so Tabata has worked on Before Crisis, Last Order, Crisis Core, Third Birthday, Type 0, Brave Exvius, Final Fantasy 15, Dissidia NT, and that's apparently it. Yeah, he bailed from Luminous in 2018. Hi, Zar. This intense music is just... Of course, Zar. Type O might be a good answer to X's question earlier. Not that X is there anymore. Because Type O...
There is an area inside the Babel where energy is gathered. The doors of time. That should be where Overdive is possible. If you encounter Twisted heading to the past, following them would be the easiest way to get there.
What? What is... What? Anyways, because Type 0 wasn't exactly a particularly good game, but it was a decent enough game. And then you got to the last chapter, and it became a terrible game very, very quickly.
Target acquired.
Yeah, remember, these are the what I call the artillery guys. These have near perfect aim and can shoot you from across the entire arena, wherever they are. So they have infinite range and perfect aim. Oh, and their shots home, by the way. Oh, by the way, you can be hit while you're doing your super nuke attack as well, which I just demonstrated aptly. So I had a thought. Okay, let's read Mr. Wrestling. No. No $3 for you. But yes, this trash mob. Yes, clothes degradation was a major feature of this game. A back-of-the-box feature, one might say. Along with regenerating health, which I just demonstrated. Necessary because of how hard they freaking hit. One down. Let's get our health back. It's funny how arduous the trash is, you know? Like, we've had trash that's arduous because it's difficult. We've had trash that's arduous because there's too much of it. This is trash that's arduous because it's arduous. Like, it's just slog. It's just slog. And yeah, the fact that I can fast forward and cover against most enemies is ridiculous. Oh, did you see that? You can't go back into cover because you are staggered by your own super attack. You also can't be in cover while reloading. Hi, Shadow Machine. Okay. If you ever see a guy spawn, there's a decent chance it's an infinite spawn in this game. No joke. There's very few examples of just enemies spawning. There are a couple. Like, there's a couple of wave encounters, but they're pretty minor. Generally speaking, you need to kill specific things, and killing those specific things is what advances you. What the? What? Oh god, I don't even know where I am. Where am I? Where am I? I'm actually lost now. Oh god. Speaking as someone who's played the hell out of both Modern Warfare 1 and 2 Archeon Vale, maybe a second if you're slow. Unless it's one of the Hulkers, then it might take us several seconds. God, it's one of the teleporters. It's one of the freaking teleporters. I have no one to dive into? Oh, there we go. I was gonna say, I need someone to dive into. I'm literally locked if I can. I haven't played Gears of War, so I can't speak to that one. At this point, I probably never will. Just because of availability. So yeah, killing that guy spawned a dude, which enabled me to cross the bridge. And now we gotta fight one of these things. Because God hates me personally. Oh, sorry, 2 of these things plus an artillery guy. I just want you to know, by the way, I am unironically giddy at the prospect of sharing with you the actual plot of this game. I have wanted to discuss the plot of this game for years. And by discuss, I mean take a baseball bat, too. I can't even imagine what this is like for an actual fan of the franchise like Blair am. Game, and we're dead. I couldn't move. There is no friendly fire on the enemies. I haven't told anybody if anybody's story guesses are correct for pretty obvious reasons. I just noticed the red orb down there. Oh my god, let me move. No, that's cool too. Since I just noticed the thing down there, let's... God, now I'm torn around. Where the hell am I? Stop shooting me. No, this thing. The thing right in front of you, game. I like how your own recoil from shooting something so hard diminishes the time you have using super mode. It's just lovely, really. Please change guns?
Target acquired. Let's do this.
It shush push-ups. People are gonna go look that up now. You're ruining it. You're ruining it. Given the rush nature of the game and the fact they were making it while we're simultaneously working on 3 other games at the same time, I honestly would not be surprised if this game did not receive a QA pass at all. By the way, so I talked about the difficulty options, right? What you may not have heard me tell you is that they designed easy, the mode we're on, to be normal. Like, this was the initial mode they designed, right? Which I specifically mention because it gets worse from here.
Let's do this.
And remember, there's 6 difficulties above easy. 6. Ooh, a new assault rifle. And a new shotgun. That actually might be worth grabbing. Let's see what chips we got first. Oh god, Mega Man was doing this chip thing too at this point in time, wasn't it? In the Zero series. What's with the chip thing? That's some really junk chips. Never mind. I don't want any of that nonsense. Actually, on the hardest difficulty, the game does actually... It is Oko mode. Everything will one-shot you if it hits you at all. Is there story content locked behind higher difficulties? No. Although that is how you're supposed to get the shower scene. Ah, it's true. Dakota. Alright, so let's see if we can buy a new assault rifle. Sure, why not? Might be better. I like it's like, would you like the new gun? It's worse in every way? Sure. I'll take the worse in every way gun. I mean, I'm sorry, there's a reason this game literally killed the franchise. Granted, Square is known for just squatting on IPs and letting them sit as rotten fruit. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Agreed, Blade Taval. And Artie Gibbon, actually. How you liking this music? Does this qualify as music? It's just a drum beat. I'm also almost out of BP. That's shocking. I'm about to run out of BP upgrading my guns for the first time in the game. Yeah, we've heard like really short loops in games like Breath of Fire 2 or I can't remember anything else off the top of my head. It's always the one my mind goes to. This might be a new record. Listen to this.
The Twisted will gather here to venture into the past.
Why?
Natural instinct to return to the womb. Hydeboar has something else up his sleeve. The Grand Babel isn't used to travel hundreds or thousands of years back into the past. It's likely he's returning to several years ago.
Okay, I'm sorry. We need to like refresh that. I feel like you might have missed that there for a second. Because like it's natural instinct to want to return to the womb. Then again, this is the exact man that just told us that science is never wrong. So, I mean, let me type up some negatives really quick. Why don't we get like a break from this wonderful music? Let's listen to some actual banger music for just a second. Just gonna do some typing really quick. Which game, Don Crow? Because that answer changes a bit. Having said that, right off the top of my head, Rome and Egypt are usually pretty high on the list. Listen, we've already had birth by sleep, right? So this is birth by... Brickwork push-ups earlier on. Yes, Plutonia is correct. Daggerfall, if the dungeons magically didn't exist, would have been a -5 golden number. I stand by that, by the way. I was legitimately shocked by how good Daggerfall was. And yes, I realize how that sounds, but I stand by it. Okay. So... yes, that's where we're at right now. Okay. I mean, I'm never going to replay Daggerfall, but yeah. Oh, what's up, Ben? No, Arcane Vale. And they never will. I mean, what is there to review? I have argued... here, I'll talk about this while I'm slogging through this encounter. I have argued before that the old games, what I call the arcade era of games, weren't video games yet. They were just games. Most of them didn't have a win condition. They just had a fail condition. And in many cases, they... Sure.
Looks like we got company. We'll cover you.
Sure. Can you let me target the thing I actually want to target, please? Thank you. Jesus, game. Can I can't even see what's happening.
And their formations aren't doing any good.
Ahem. Most of them were very, very simple and didn't actually have game design. In some cases, they had game mechanics, but even then, not necessarily. There was no level design to speak of. Core mechanics were practically non-existent, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they were time wasters in pretty much the most pure sense of the word, as Blade Devil just pointed out. So you've just got a shield aimed at me now. That's just a mechanic you have.
Let's do this.
Besides, we all know everyone will just vote for Custer's revenge, and shame on you. I had to introduce someone to that recently,
He's killing
because they didn't know that game existed.
effortlessly. The High Ones are even more powerful than we expected.
Enemy contact!
He must have been fighting the Twisted through time and space.
Have you been listening to the plot developing in the background, by the way? In case you missed it, let me get you caught up here, okay? So, Jackass McGee, you know, Mr. Mullet, who's totally secretly evil, he has turned into a super ultra dude, and he has been using his super ultra power to fight off thousands of Twisted to prevent them from traveling through time, because all of the Twisted are trying to go back through the Ultra Babel, which we're currently in order to go back in time. Yeah, how many of you even remember Maeda was a character from the Parasite series? By the way, we need to talk about external continuity at some point. Not yet. Not yet. But that negative needs to be given. And by that, I mean we need to decide how many negatives that is, because that's what that conversation's going to be.
Target acquired.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about something else too. There's this game called Dirge of Cerberus. How many of you have ever actually heard of that game? Pop this actually real quick. I've actually played that game. In fact, I 100% of that game because I'm just a loser, I guess. I don't know. Well, here's the thing about Dirge, right? I wasn't a big fan of the story, but I remember the gameplay reasonably fondly. Seriously. But here's the thing, and here's what was sticking in my head, right? So, when I thought of the gameplay of Dirge of Cerberus, what I thought of was the gameplay of this game, like the two equated in my mind. I don't know if you see that gameplay number over there, but I'm wondering if I'm completely wrong and the gameplay of Dirge of Cerberus is actually trash. I don't know. I haven't played it since it was new. Like I said, I played it and 100% of it when it came out.
Let's do this.
I don't know. I haven't played Dirge, so in a long time. So I don't know. The one eye thing always threw me about her, Mr. Road.
It looks like a fight is inevitable with every encounter. Either the Twisted are out for blood and won't let an enemy slip away, or he's trying to lure you out.
Target acquired.
Okay, that was strange. I did, Jelix Brown. Don't worry, I am reasonably certain it is the only story positive the entire game will get. You're probably wondering why I was thinking about Dirge of Cerberus, by the way, other than the fact that it was on my mind. This music right here is very Dirge of Cerberus. In fact, just to make this point, you've been hearing the music that's been playing during this level, right? Give me 1 second. Because I actually have the Dirge of Cerberus soundtrack locally. Hang on, I gotta find it really quick. Is this it? Is this it? Listen to this. This is Dirge of Cerberus. I actually did like Kate Sith in Dirge. I did. I also liked Reeve, unrelated. I think this is during the intro. I don't remember exactly. Like I said, it's been a long time. And yeah, the music's better because it's less repetitive. I mean, it's the exact same sound font, first of all. But, like... yeah, anyways. Listen to it. Listen to it. Okay, you know what my least... can anyone guess? What was my least favorite part about Dirge of Cerberus? And before you ask, I'm going to tell you right now, no, it wasn't Genesis. I love how the music just stops the moment you finish combat. That's been the whole game. That is exactly it, Plutonia. The shipping of a 50-year-old vampire with an 18-year-old super soldier who's in the body of a 10-year-old girl.
Hey, see that? Man, I think we're in trouble here.
It is exactly as creepy as it sounds. And unnecessary. Why? Especially when her sister was right there. Come on, guys. Come on.
Let's do this.
Okay, so technically spoilers, but I'm just gonna say Hojo was great in Dirge. Unironically, I thought they did a great job with him until they until his death scene. That's I didn't like that. What the hell is that?
Target acquired. Let's do this.
A friend of mine really liked the Lucretia thing, specifically because it was so messed up. I'll just spoil this. So it turns out Lucretia, spoilers for Dirge Cerberus and FF7 in general, I guess, really had the hots for Vincent's dad, Grimoire, because of course his name was Grimoire. And blah, 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 guilt, and so she transferred all of those confused, weird, not really romantic feelings to him. It's pretty messed up. But yeah, so we've talked before about the Goldfish Squad, right? Or whatever the TV Tropes got. Speaking of which, TV Tropes has started blocking me because I use an ad blocker now. So, random side note. Anyways, the Gimmick Squad, right? We've talked about that. I actually do enjoy the concept of the Gimmick Squad. I do, unironically. And I think there's several good implementations of that over the years. Dirge of Cerberus's Gimmick Squad is some of the worst Gimmick Squads I have ever seen in gaming. I don't know what the hell they were thinking with those guys. I remember the one that Mr. Red just referenced. Her name was Rosso or something like that. Like the Crimson Rosso. Or whatever. Like, it was just, what? Oh, yeah, no, their ads are awful. Their ads are legitimately bad. They're right up there with fandom ads. Which is why I put ads up for them. Or ad blocker, I should say, up for them. Yeah, there was Big Azure Dude who, like, has a tank, and then there's Ladyface.
He was just there, Aya. You're closing in on him.
There's obviously the one you have a romantic connection with. Duh. Who's a 10-year-old girl. No, she's 18. She just looks like she's 10. She's stuck in the body of a 10-year-old girl. That makes it better. Anyways. Let's see. And then we had Nero, I think was his name, the Sable, who was, like, super powered, apparently, or something. God, I don't even know. And then Vice, who has no characterization whatsoever, other than to, like, ruin a good character. So that's his character, is ruining another good character.
Target acquired.
I think that's everything. Listen, they're super soldiers, okay? They're like soldiers, but even stronger. You cannot hope to combat against the ultra super mega, what was it, like deep something? God, what was the name of their stupid name? Good morning, Ross. can't remember. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I don't actually blame them, Ross, but that is a shame, because there's still some legitimately good stuff in there. Was it deep? I don't remember. You know what I'm talking about. Deep something. It was the super... Oh, shoot. It was the super ultra mega soldiers that have always been there. But they've always been there. I like how nobody has an answer to my question of who the hell these guys were. Not even Plutonia.
Target acquired.
Good morning. Deep ground. That was it. That was it. I knew it was something dumb. Hi, Eva. We were just talking about how really stupid some plot points can be in video games. Oh, you haven't given me your homework yet. This is your last chance, Evo. Yeah, like overdive. What? I have ammo, game. Alright, Eva, what you got?
I've got you covered.
So, I mentioned before how this game underwent so many rewrites, I couldn't even tell you, like, the original format of the game. The original format of the plot, excuse me. A lot of games, just to repeat myself briefly, a lot of games have, like, thanks to behind-the-scenes, interviews, receipts, original prints, etc., and just analysis, you can kind of tell what the game was originally supposed to be, right? We mentioned that with Chrono Cross, for example. And you could see bits and pieces of that in things like Xenogears or Xenosaga, to use another example. But in this case, they were changing their mind about the story so rapid fire that I'm not sure they really had any cohesion at any point of the story. So I don't know what they were going for originally. Now, what does this have to do with sabotage? I don't think this game was deliberately sabotaged, any more so than anything else coming out in this era, because this was the era when Yuichi Wada was ruling Square Enix with an iron fist. And it was, in my opinion, the actual worst era of Square we have ever had, including now. There were a couple of decent things that came out at this point in time, but everything else was just this. This is when FF13 came out. This is when Type 0 came out. This is when Dirge of Cerberus came out. This is when a lot of weird and frankly bad decisions came out. Yeah, this is actually when I coined the term squirrels for brains. Was in the early 2010s. Yeah, FF14 1.0, to be clear, came out, to be very frank about that. Like, this was just... There were so many terrible decisions that Wada kept making over and over and over again. So, yeah. Yeah, this was just... Yeah, so was FF11's are. Let's grab a save. Very carefully saving. Okay, I did that on accident. I was trying to reload, not fast forward, but that actually looked like I teleported, didn't it? Watch this. Anyways, is this just the same shit? These are just the same arenas with the same enemies over and over again. This is actually kind of silly. This would have been right around Recoded and 358/2, which were both being worked on at the same time. Yes, you said it's all just a dream. Which I think qualifies, and you're not even the first person to suggest that. So, that means you get to pick something to put $3 towards. Because you did your homework. Oh, we're dead, right? Why can't I move? Damn right you do, Eva.
Target acquired.
I mean, I was mentioning Pathologic 2 earlier, and while I don't like the disjointed, nonsensical nature of Pathologic 2, at least it does very deliberately invoke that vibe of being a dream state, right? Of non-logic. Did you, like, do what I tell you to for 5 seconds, game? Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'd be a terrible teacher, clearly. I actually don't know push-ups. I know that was Sakaguchi's baby for years. And I know that they had absolutely no idea what they were doing. And I know it financially destroyed them for such a long period of time that technically we're still dealing with that to this very day. But I don't know if WADA was involved in that. I love how they're just spawning more and more and more of the same enemy. Like, that's just what we're doing. That's just life now.
We're going in! Cover us! Go back down! We've got this!
Thank God. Give me some freaking firepower. Go away. Go away. Probably with his family push-ups? I did my job. I got the cat home. What would Lightning do? She would be like, we have to do whatever's required, no matter the cost. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to drink this battery acid. And everyone will be like, no! No!
Time-space distortion is just getting bigger.
And then the villain will show up and say, you should go and drink battery acid.
I'm going to get my hands on a high one.
And she's gonna be like, I'll never drink battery acid.
Culture it and compare it with you.
And then after defeating the villain, she goes and drinks the battery acid.
Target acquired.
God, FF13 is such a dumb game. Sorry, I know people like it. Sorry, don't hate me. That'll show you. I'll show you all. No, I am push-ups, but like there's this brand new invention they just came up with called a door.
Target acquired.
And for the first time in many months, I can actually leave my door closed, rather than being forced to leave it open so the cat can come in constantly.
Let's do this.
I don't know, Talia. Getting France and Berlin confused. That's paddling in some places. There's another bot. A lot of bots today. Hey, Evo. Do you like this music? Now listen to it the entire time I'm menuing, because I actually have some menuing to do. Ooh, I think I'll take that, actually. Yeah, level 2 re-raise. I'll take it. Yeah, Europe, there's just Europe, right? Sure, let's do that. Get rid of that red, finally. Well, I haven't taken over any countries yet, X, so no. I should probably get a hard save in here. Good morning, Walker. Oh my god, it stopped. Ah! It's kind of impressive, really, Loner, if you think about it. Are we up to the boss, finally? Nope, looks like just another arena with the same enemies over and over again. Oh, right, it's the Reaper. Okay, yeah. So this actually is a boss. This is the Reaper. I know it's hard to tell because it looks exactly like the enemies we've been fighting this entire time. But this is the enemy that you couldn't kill. Like, it was completely invincible in earlier sections of the game. But now it's time for payback.
The laser weapon. The Berserker. This is the only weapon that can penetrate the Reaper's hard outer shell. With this, you can destroy this beast.
Hey, Hoo Girl, give me 1 second. What the? Oh my god, that was disorienting as hell. Oh my god, this is the worst. Are you gonna let me shoot? There we go. dead. Thank you for the sub, good girl. For 100 months. I don't know what that is in years, but holy crap. My God. I do kind of like this song. Yeah, hi, Jay Palmer. No, I decided to go back. So, Bioshock 2, 2 Point Campus. You get a third thing, Blue Girl. This is a temporary setup. Why does it default to such a weird thing? Look at this. I can't even... Ah! Why is the only gun that could damage the super fast teleporting boss this slow-ass razor? Why would you do that? Yeah, I decided to go back to the evil apartment complex. Although, considering holding companies are not legally allowed to own properties like that anymore. Could you stop popping into the same people over and over? Do none of them have it? Okay. I guess I'm just waiting until someone spawns with the only gun that can damage the boss. Like, I don't know what you want from here. Yeah, ditto, Who Girl. In fact, this was the 4th game I ever covered on my show. Ever, ever, ever. Like, am I soft-locked? Do I have to die because I let the guy die? There's no dropped guns. There's no possibility of inventory on the map. So I guess that answers you.
Let's do this.
There. No. So now that I'm out of ammo, I'm going to go deliberately die, because I don't know what else to do. So I can spawn a new guy who comes in with a fresh set of ammo. So what else are you supposed to do in this situation? Who thought this was a boss battle? This is like the third to last boss in the game, too.
We showed you! I'll be damned! We did it! You had that coming!
I'm actually going to give that a hyperfail moment, because they clearly want that to be a Hyper-V moment, right? Like, you get the laser, and you can finally take down the Reaper who's pissed you off the whole time, and it's that. Okay, so that's also going towards the SNES plot. You got it. Thank you again, new girl. And thank you, Walker, very, very much. Yeah, instead of a unique song, I'm pretty sure this is just the chase music. You know, from when you were having to flee from this guy in earlier missions. From Walker, I will put that towards Expedition 33, Chained Echoes, and something that... who's in chat right now? Push-Ups picks. Oh, right. Hang on. No?
What the? I thought we killed that thing! The Reaper's back up and running! That thing is still alive! Stand down!
It's got a face too, everyone. It has a face too. Can you pick something other than Expedition 33? I don't want to double down on that. It wouldn't really increase the priority anyways. At least I can hit it with regular guns now. Actually, the dude stopped respawning though. Wow, he just teleported right into my face. Jesus Christ. Look at that. That is just across the arena in seconds. In a game where your maximum run speed is gentle sloping. FF9 I can do. Oh, the aiming is weird and awful. And, yeah. I would say better than Dark Mirror, which is sad. But it's still true. Hey look, there's a car on the ceiling. Are we done? That's funny, I made that comparison earlier, girl. Yeah, I'm still only getting normal DNA chips from all this nonsense, too. So yeah, I'm gonna give that a hyperfail negative. That was just... what? Here's this amazing soundtrack again. See, I'm currently predicting I won't enjoy Expedition 33, but it'll probably rate pretty well.
It's almost time. Up ahead is the Babel's core, the area where overdive is possible. Hyde is there, Aya. It's time to face him.
Yep, it's time to face the guy that we have so much animosity built up towards across absolutely nothing. That's a good morph. I'll take that. A brief summary of this story? Sure. Okay, so...
You are now and forever my main subject of research. No matter what happens to the world, you will always be the center of my universe.
Oh, that's extremely creepy. No, the plot hasn't started yet. So let's grab a save over here. So, what's happened so far is we have the ability to overdive into other sentient beings. Or other people, maybe? Maybe other beasts? Maybe we could overdive into a plant. They never actually talk about that. They probably don't think about it. But anyways, we can overdive into things. And we take over them, right? That we control them like a puppet whenever we do that. It's like we're overriding them and driving them, right? So that's why we call it overdive. Anyways, so we go into the past to try and change something, succeed at changing something, which makes everyone freak out because they're not sure if we actually change the past. So they demand we change the past again, which we do. And then our boss is like, I'm evil. And then he kills everyone. And then we end up without our support staff, and we can't jump into the past, but we can jump into the present. So we jump into several people in the present to go destroy Babel. But when we do, we accidentally kill our husband. And so as he's dying, the whole place gets nuked. And then all of the giant tree things in the middle of New York City, don't ask, all merge into a super ultra tree thing, which we're now in the middle of. And we're currently in here looking for our old... mentor, who is the person who is apparently the main villain of the game. You can tell because he acted evil. That's it. The plot hasn't actually revealed itself yet. I'm not joking. So you asked why I'm not going to like Expedition 33. Let's see. Depressing story about fatigue, grief, and loss. Yeah, I can't imagine why I wouldn't like that. Real-time overdive.
I have been trapped in the ring of time. The Twisted come from the future, and I destroy them. And eventually I fall. When I do, I wake up at the church on a snowy day, and the cycle repeats itself.
Yeah, there's a time loop too, which makes even less sense.
But that, my friend, is about to end.
Because Square doesn't know what time loops are.
Who was it that ordered you here, Agent Brea?
It was no one.
What a brave soul you are.
I just want to know one thing. Why did you put me up against the High Ones?
There's something I desire, and it's beyond that door. We are at war with the Twisted. Every time one of us dies, the time-space power structure is consequently redesigned, and the Babel grows in strength. And that's what I used as an advantage. Our species became the foundation of the Grand Babel. We were successful as we unlocked the doors to Zero.
What about all of your friends? And the people that are important to me?
I gave them the freedom to doubt. You dared to trust me, Aya. You scared, Aya? Or are you, in fact, enjoying this?
Terrible shot, of course.
I can handle this. Everyone else did.
Then come. I will be the one to show you the truth.
I just... God. I don't... We've actually talked about this phenomenon before. Every now and again, y'all hand me a plate of dog poo and said, could you analyze this from a culinary perspective? And I stare at it like, how do I do that? How do? Halo SPV3, secret weapons over Normandy, Sky Odyssey. Thank you, Jay Palmer, as always. Much obliged. Much appreciated. Thank you. Okay, so, yeah, by the way, we're going to actually be cutting off relatively soon. Believe it or not. Like, there's going to be a boss fight, and then we'll be in the final mission, which is relatively short. And is mostly story. Have I beaten this game before? I beat this game when it came out. So, yeah. Hello, Elazar. I beat this game 15 years ago. Oh, God, I'm old. Okay, okay. Anyways. Sure, Bladeville. No, not an early lunch break. I'm just typing some thoughts up. Okay. Whoops, wrong button.
What is that?
Because, of course, he's like this weird tentacle monster. What else would he be? I mean, honestly, what do you expect? I honestly hope this won't take another 2.5 hours. We'll see. Yep, it's time to fight Tentacle Gumby. So what do you think his motives are here, by the way? Like, why is he being super evil? Any guesses? I'll give you a hint. It's the exact same motives as in Parasite Eve 2. Exact same. No, he wasn't in Parasite Eve 2, before you ask. here. Oh, we got knocked out of combat. I mean, cover. Yeah, it kind of approaches things from like a Borderlands perspective where you're sort of expected to farm bosses. I guess Diablo did the same thing. Oh, he's straight up Resident Evil-y here. Speaking of, here's his motivation. I'm mentioning it now because I don't think he ever actually says it outright in the game. I could be wrong. I look forward to being proven wrong soon here. But his motivation is he is a superior life form who needs to replace humanity. So his goal is to spread the high ones throughout the world so that all humanity becomes like him. Superior life form, blah, 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 blah. What's a mitochondria? Question. I think I've heard of that before. Every boss in the game has been a high one. The bosses at the end of chapters, those are high ones. Could y'all please? What is your stagger? My god. My hand's getting kind of sore here. It's okay, we don't even know what Twisted are yet, Mr. Red. So there's us marrying our husband. There's the bloody wedding dress. By the way, if you've been paying attention, across the entire game, they've only shown, I think, about 8 seconds of this cutscene. It's just each chapter we see slightly more of it. And let me tell you, that is really, really, really smearing out some cutscene.
I did it. I shot Eve.
Yes. To stop the awakening of Eve the Mother.
Eve is the mother?
We High Ones, we were there. The moment Eve Brea awakened, and the memories from her body were inherited by us fortunate ones. Eve.
Yeah, there's the whole team. And all the people who've been bosses the whole
That's
game.
why I did it. I know that I can fix my mistake if I die.
Oh, is that so? Well, your past is what makes you who you are. I'll let you in on a little secret. The ability to overdive is not yours alone, but also shared by others. It is time to go to Eve.
So I'm going to jump off the guessing game very soon, if you haven't updated it. We're on the final mission. So we're in outro territory now. Score is up to date. Yeah, they're just modified humans. Again, it's a Resident Evil plot. It's a straight up Resident Evil plot. No one guessed a positive. That's true. Hi, Bragwin. You ready for this, Bragwin? Spoilers. You are not ready for this. I know I keep like hyping it up, but for real, I'm looking forward to this. Hello, Spartan, and thank you for the sub, Bragwin. I wish Savacom was here. She would really appreciate this. All right. What does difficulty change? So up until the last difficulty, which is called Genocide, by the way, all the difficulty does is change the damage of the enemies and the health of the enemies. On the last difficulty, the enemies have different attack patterns. They drop different things. It changes the experience curve. Every attack in the game can one-shot you. The allies actually suddenly get like more tanky, weirdly enough, which is actually kind of a cool idea, like having to rely on your allies. But also, the health changes. So what I mean by that is when you jump into someone, one of the only things that changes is you inherit their health, right? In hardest difficulty, they inherit your health. This means if you are at minimum health and jump out of someone to survive, you will still die because you're just killing a new person at that point. In other words, they stop being one-ups. So that's one of the core mechanics of the game. Oof. Anyways. Alright. Let's do this. What's the point of jumping? There's not much of one. Save. And then a hard save. Let's check our board really quick. A restock. A single restock. That's actually not bad. Yeah, this is a PSP game. I don't think there's much we could do at this point. We didn't get any antibodies, which sucks. We could try for some RNG. See what happens here. Nope, that lowers it. We're at 7. I want to be above 7. I don't think I'm going to manage it. Get a 9. Ooh, an 8. No, I'll take that. So movement is left analog. Camera is good luck. And aiming is holding down L. I had a lot of fun on the PSP, but I think it's one of those N64 situations where it's not a lot of games, but I enjoyed them quite a bit. Like they had the Vice City Stories, GTA Vice City Stories, GTA San Andreas, or no, GTA 3 Stories, I think it was. It was one of the other Stories games. Then there's Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, Dissidia 2, Mega Man Powered Up, Mega Man Maverick Hunter X, Final Fantasy Tactics R, the original, Final Fantasy, Tactics Ogre R, the original. I feel like there's more. Ace Combat X, which I did actually enjoy. Still can't upgrade my freaking thing. I mentioned Birth by Sleep. Still can't upgrade that. Still can't upgrade that. Okay, whatever. We're done. Let's do it. You ready for this? We're going to time 0 when there is no time, is what that says. These people don't understand what time means. Could someone give me a exclamation mark 0 or exclamation mark guess really quick, please? Okay, you ready for this?
The Queen would like a word with you.
Yes, that's right. We start off with the exact same boss battle we have already fought. Because of course we do. It's funny, Zectift. This is a boss battle we've already fought, too. That's the best part. Oh, actually did something. Holy crap. I honestly didn't think grenades would work here. So you couldn't really tell, but that explosion actually did a ton of stagger damage. It's the main way you're supposed to stagger this thing and manage the DPS raise. That's a good question. So we're currently falling through the giant pillar. By the way, I want you all to do me a weird favor. I swear I'm asking for a reason. I want you to remember how weird and organic-y and twisted all this stuff looks, right? Which makes sense, after all. This is clearly mitochondrial stuff, right? But just remember what all of the Twisted and the High One bosses look like. Okay, could you do that for me?
Stay out of my way!
Even if what awaits you is the guilty, horrible truth.
I'm gonna save her. This has nothing to do with you.
I want the same thing as you do, Aya. I want to surpass time and make my way to the Mother.
That's not what I want.
That's all I really want. I swear to you.
You stay away from her!
Let's end this now. Who will witness time zero? Is it one of us? Or perhaps... The playing field is equal now. Overtime.
So I remember this because this is really frustrating. You can target like half the NPCs in here, in a game where the only real way to target something is to target something, which means like you have a lot of difficulty actually targeting the boss. It's pretty much the only gimmick this fight has, is just difficulty targeting him. Yeah, you remember the apocalypse that the game literally started with? So there's all the people at the wedding, all the high ones.
We meet again. Use anything. Dive into anyone. I'll allow it. Stay alive, Aya.
Yeah, this is supposed to be our Gondor calls for aid moment, by the way.
Show me a new world, Aya.
I want you to dive into me. The tears and the sadness, they have to end.
Now, go. Fight for you and no one else.
Yeah, they're just hovering there. It's great.
I love you.
Aww. And that's like the big triumphant music, because, you know. Like, this feels like the end of Crisis Core. Like, they were going for the same vibe, right? And it fails a lot, in my opinion. Like, really? This is what you're going with? Listen, nobody cares about our younger sister who we're here to fight for, from the second game. Who's actually just a cellular clone of us, mixed with the mitochondrial E from the first game. But, oh, by the way, we have infinite ammo now. I don't know if you caught that. I like how they're like, dive, and it's like, I don't need to at the moment, but thanks, dudes. Thanks, my dudes. I like how his main attack is giant slow bullets. That's such a Resident Evil thing, isn't it?
Time to pray.
Oh my god. It's the freaking tiger dude from Punch-Out, whose name I can't think of all of a sudden. Great Tiger, I think? God, I can't remember his name. Game. Move! God damn it, I hate how you can't move while you're logging on. No, the only real camera control you have to speak of. Ugh.
I choose to get hurt.
Yes, this is 100% what a first draft script looks like. Well, damn it. I got a chip out of one of my allies. What the hell? Gonna regen for a second. Can you target the boss, please? Oh my god. I really don't like this fight. This is really awful, yeah. Notice he doesn't even have a break bar. He just suddenly breaks out of absolutely nowhere and with no warning. Move! God damn it. I actually don't remember his name either. I was going to write down his name in the review document. I couldn't think of his name. I've beaten this game before. And I've been playing it for the last couple of days. Still can't think of his name. I'm sorry it took me so long, Xavier. By the way, if you're wondering why I don't shoot him when he's in his obvious vuln period, it's because the wind down from doing your vuln attack is so long, and you can't move while you're doing that. You're just animation locked while that's happening. This time. I'm sure, statistically speaking, at least someone somewhere, this is probably their first PSP game.
It's time to pray.
And dead. I couldn't move. I couldn't move. I do not know what to do about that great tiger attack. It's an emulator bug, Jake Palmer. Don't worry about it. I have to murder innocent people here. I just realized that's a thing I can do. Ugh.
Let's go beyond zero.
You ready?
Can't avoid evolution.
What a miserable boss fight.
To the other side of the cycle. Time is the judge of all.
I don't know at this point. I don't know why we're in like a rib cage or whatever either. Don't ask. So this is actually a DPS race. Like, this is supposed to be a Hyper Beam moment, but what it really is hurt your hands moment. And this, we don't even have a health bar, by the way. But when we take hits, we lose liberation. So I'm just mashing as fast as I can here. 2 health bars left. I'm not sure how to dodge some of his attacks. That one. I guess I just have to be really predictive about it. Anyway, so we just died. Oh, we had a pre-race. I actually forgot I even had that equipped. That's funny. That is funny. I didn't even know that would work. Here. That's... I'll take it. How?
Wise. You can't stop the progression of time. Ayabrea, you will be forced to commit another sin against your wishes.
Chief, what were your true intentions? You were always there with a kind word for me. Was that all a lie?
No, he just wanted to replace humanity with the blah blah blah. Like I said, they don't really lay out his motivations.
It's time 0.
Believe it or not, we still haven't hit the plot yet.
The place where eternity begins.
You ready for this? December 24th, 1300 hours. Time 0.
Where's the happy couple?
They should be here soon. But the bouquet's mine.
What?
What? There's no law saying a man can't have it.
You're such an idiot. She already said I could have it.
Why are they outside? That's never explained, by the way.
Aya?
Like, they're not attending the wedding for some reason. He is. Oh, by the way, the priest guy, who should have also turned into a high one, he just vanishes. Don't worry about him. So yeah, there's us. Well, there's Aya, marrying Kyle. But then the cops come in. It's ICE! Run! And they gun us all down brutally. Oh god. Oh my god. We're being gunned down by the cops. Which, yeah, this just looks like normal ICE behavior to me. There's Eve, who's here too, of course. So Eve, nice shot, Aya, by the way. Yeah, that's Aya Brea, by the way. While in a wedding dress and dead, or rather dying, she still gunned down all the frickin' cops. Because Aya is a freaking badass.
Aya.
And is not who we've been playing the whole game.
Who am I? I don't...
So the past repeats itself. Oh, great Mother Eve, return to your original vessel.
Because Aya never had the ability to overdive. That was Eve's ability. So we've been playing Eve in Aya's body the whole game. Which makes the sexualization worse.
I wanted to surpass the wall of time.
I'm... Eve?
Yes, you are Eve Brea. Time 0 is when you dove into Aya's body, and that is when your memory was taken from you.
Aya was lying on the ground. I wanted to save her. Someone was walking towards us. I was desperate.
That's the very moment when the Overdive was born, when both of your souls collided. In return, Aya Brea's soul, it was destroyed.
Hey.
You're lying!
And yeah, that's one of the most literal character assassinations we've ever had. Like, that's impressive.
Aya didn't shoot you. You're the one who destroyed her soul. That's what happened at Time 0.
Which I'm repeating for absolutely no
Fragments of
reason.
Aya's soul were scattered to all corners of time and space, only to become reborn as what we call the Twisted.
You caught that, right?
Your body's deterioration gave birth to life forms with your memories. The High Ones. Eve and Aya. You two were the cause of the birth of two new species. And that is Time 0.
right, hold up. I really feel like you need a second to process that. So let me repeat that in total contrast to what I was just making fun of. Let me make this clear. The twisted, the big weird gross things are shards of Aya's of Aya. They're shards of Aya. Her soul or her mind or whatever word you want to use there. That have been smeared across time. The high ones are normal human beings who have been infused with the mitochondria of Eve, turning them into high ones. That's the plot. Now, I noticed at least one person in chat caught a rather gaping hole in this plot. Okay, you ready for this? Who were the cops and why did they shoot Aya and Kyle, right? Why did they gun down a wedding on freaking Christmas Eve? You are not ready for the answer. Are you ready for the answer? Here we go. Here we go. There is no explanation ever made. We actually have interviews. I've done my due diligence on this one. We have interviews of the writers and creative staff after this game came out, as well as we have access to some of the original receipts, and they all come up with the simple answer of, there is no answer. Because plot. The impetus for the entire story, the entire plot, got started because, Yeah, cops just show up and shoot weddings. That's just normal, right? I mean, we do live in the States, so. Like I said earlier, well, actually, I don't think I said this out loud. I thought this. None of you were going to guess the actual plot because it is so incredibly nonsensical that you can't, right? You cannot like predict this. Everyone, there were several people mentioned it might be a dream, it might be a multiverse or whatever. Maybe it's just like the dying moments as we're bleeding out. No. You see, cops raided her wedding. Excuse me. I can actually correct my pronouns now because now I've revealed that we're not playing Aya. Invaded her wedding for no reason to murder them in cold blood, and in an effort to save her, we accidentally smeared her consciousness across time and have been battling her and the remnants of our own body infused into our friends the entire time. Oh, where do I even... So I made that reference earlier. You've laid some dog poo in front of me. How do I review this? Let me count the ways. So first of all, this plot is absolutely terrible. Triple negative for the plot. Then we have the... let's call it the writing of it, because it is legitimately nonsensical. So, nonsense. And so we've got bad, we've got nonsense. We've got lack of explanation. We actually have a term for that. It's called consequence storytelling. The inciting event of the entire story has no explanation. Triple negative for that. Yeah, the inciting event is a non sequitur. Like, I'm sorry, I'm joking about the whole cops shooting people in New York City thing, but for real, that is such a thing. And it's kind of important because, generally speaking, a SWAT team doesn't invade a wedding in broad daylight. It's 1 p.m., by the way, and just gun down the defenseless civilians on their wedding day. That's a fairly unusual thing to happen. I know. Shocking. Oh, that brings up pacing. Thank you for remembering that. So yeah, the plot, I actually agree completely. Because the plot of this game doesn't even start until literally the last chapter, as we just demonstrated. And, oh, boo-hoo. So that makes it okay to murder her at her wedding, Matterlord. I apologize. I didn't realize you were one of those people. Oh yeah, they also murder the priest. They never talk about the priest. He's just gunned down with everyone else. He doesn't become a high one. They barely acknowledge that he's even there. He's just dead. He's just dead. Anyways, but yeah, we've seen games where a lot of the story is shoved to the beginning and the end. We even have a term for that. It's called Kingdom Hearts syndrome. And there are plenty of games that tend to put big moments towards the end. And I don't like that, to be clear. But I think this is legitimately what a triple negative of that looks like. Because this is like after the final boss, right? I mean, I think there's actually another encounter, but like this is so far. This is like, what's an example? Imagine if the plot of FF4 wasn't revealed until we were fighting Zeromus. It's like the equivalent of this. This is like we've reached Wily stage 4, and all of a sudden they're like, by the way, this is a severe example of an already bad trope. Negative, negative, negative. Well, I only have the English translations push-ups, but there was a shrug involved, if that helps. Like a literal physical shrug. I just... The really stupid part is they could have tied this in. So, for those of you who haven't played it, Parasite Eve 2 had a major plot point of corrupt government officials, where the agency you were working for actually had people in it who were corrupt. I know, try to be shocked. See every other spy thriller movie, game, and show ever made ever. So maybe it could have been a thing where, like, you know, we must be able to harvest the mitochondria. In order to do that, we must get rid of Aya Brea, or just whatever, right? Like something like that. Haha, Blade 12. Something like that, right? But instead, they don't. They don't. There's no effort. And again, the writers themselves have just been like, eh. And yeah, they're not Men in Black. You know, no secret government conspiracy thing. It's not like one rogue person whose like life was ruined. Like there would almost be an ironic. I'm not sure if that's irony. There would be a tragic power in the narrative if this was one person whose life was ruined during the incident at New York in Parasite Eve 1, right? And this one wacko got a gun, hunted down Eve, was basically looking after Eve, and just started, you know, shooting, right? And ended up accidentally killing Aya in his men. And so there's like a tragedy to that, right? There's a potential there of, you know, the victim becoming the victimizer and causing the entire events of this game, the just devastation of the city and the deaths of millions of people and the near destruction of the world and blah, blah, blah. Right? But no. Instead, it's the SWAT team. Well, he didn't want all this to happen until after it happened, if that makes any sense, D20 Arca. I suppose that's fair, Blade Travel. I thought you were making fun of me because the relative lack of plot in Mega Man games. I mean, that would have worked much better, Triaxia. Honestly, what's really frustrating is it's relatively easy to fix this story. All you have to do is carve out giant swaths of it. I'm dead serious. Get rid of this entire stupid plot thread about Time Zero. Just eject it entirely. We're part of a team whose whole job it is to put down mitochondrial outbreaks. We're playing as Eve from the second game. We have the ability to hop into people. Make it a mechanic where hopping into people and we could like move them to safety and then hop out of them and then like they leave the area. So we lose the one up from doing so, but we've saved a civilian, right? And so now we get more money at the end of it and we get some kind of reward for that, or maybe it's an achievement or something, right? There you go, boom. That's a extremely minor amount of changes to make this work. But no. Just jotting in some notes real quick. I'll type up more thorough thoughts about this later, because this deserves to have a paragraph or 3. Let's see. So that's external continuity, plot, writing, consequence storytelling, and pacing. Did I miss anything there? Yeah, maybe the Twisted are just a reaction to the mitochondria. You know, to move past the initial invasion thing. Because after all, frankly, Parasite Eve 2 kind of chopped off the mitochondria thing. Yeah, I was thinking about that, Mr. Red. And as much as I hate to do it, I think I'm only going to stick with 2 for that. Yeah, okay, so let's get back to the joy of this wonderful, wonderful game.
So then, it's all my fault.
The cycle repeats itself, but there's no need for sorrow. This is where a change in the cycle will begin. Your body will soon be destroyed, and again they will be transformed into the High Ones.
Yeah, where were you guys when the cops swarmed in with automatic rifles?
Your soul has returned to where it should be, Eve. Listen to me. Before your body is destroyed, take me in.
Oh, right. I need to give a negative for the time loop.
And experience a new birth. That's the sole reason I stand here before you now. I have come here to graciously offer myself to the Mother. You will then be born again, and your descendants will be advanced life forms with the ability to ultimately end the war against the Twisted. I will remain inside of you, and watch as the new future unfolds in front of you.
But will the people that are important to me be there?
People? They are nothing. Just a part of our evolutionary process.
I'm telling you, he's a Resident Evil villain.
I'm not going to let you go. If you don't like it, you can just become part of me. Let's dream together. The same dream.
Thank you. Because remember, Aya is in fact a badass.
Aya!
What? Aya's soul should be gone.
Well, it's already been destroyed. Sweet dreams. It's your future now. I want you to have this.
Then I was the one who...
Listen. You need to aim here. Right now.
I just can't. I can't do this.
Of course you can do it. Go on.
I just want you to stay.
I wish I could have exchanged my vows with Kyle.
I always wanted to be just like you. You're so strong, and you're so kind. I just can't.
Oh man, just manly tears, you know.
Eve.
You're glowing.
The one who can end this is you.
Which is why I'm pointing a gun at you. So the idea here, which this deserves another negative, by the way, is that the last time she dived in on accident, which smeared Aya across time. By the way, dizzying, holy crap. But now, because she's doing so deliberately... Oh yeah, they make you pull the bullet, by the way. But now, because we're doing it deliberately, instead of smearing her across time, we erase her from existence. Which obviously completely changes the timeline, because the Twisted never existed. So now none of the events of the game ever happened. Except for the Red Wedding. And now Eve is stuck in Aya's body, and Aya doesn't exist anymore.
Can you hear me? Miss Crybaby.
Kyle!
Do you remember what our rings mean? What we wished for?
Of course. That our love is eternal.
That's right, Aya. I want you to believe in eternity. I want you to believe we're going to surpass death and time. And we're going to meet again someday. Until then, don't forget our promise.
How is he talking to her?
Merry Christmas.
What led you here was hope for tomorrow. Aya? Smile and walk toward the future. I'll be watching over you. Well, I'll do my best.
By the way, the negatives have almost doubled in just the outro. And I knew that would happen. So I haven't talked about the outro of this game all that much in my gaming career because it's extremely spoilery.
A world where she doesn't exist. That's the world she hoped for.
Jesus Christ, game.
Aya Brea, take Kyle Madigan to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do you part.
I'll finish in a sec.
I do.
Hey, yeah, and then we, who I remind you are Eve, marry Kyle. And I'm gonna get turbo copyright for that. I'm gonna mute that. So this is what sex is. So he says, you don't have to be anyone else. Eve. Oh, that's even grosser! She's your adopted daughter! You freaking... What? What? Ah! Why? God, why? What is wrong with you? I want you to live your own life. We'll watch over you. Me and Aya. Oh my god, Sobekov! You've missed so much of the awful. I wish you were here for this. Oh my god. It's so bad. It's actually honestly worse than I remember. Music's still playing. The music's still playing, Talia. I don't want to deal with that. I'm going on a journey to find eternity. So, like, were they pretending to get married? Oh my god. Yeah, you asked about the title, right? So she's got the mind of a 10-year-old, but she's actually 3. Because she's a clone, so... Yeah, Kyle did have both rings, but like... Oh my god, Sobekov. Okay, so I think that's all my thoughts at the moment. Well, obviously, the police were there to shoot Aya. And if Aya never existed, then, you know, the police aren't going to show up to shoot nobody. Duh. I mean, oh my god, hang on. So, Sobekov... Her body does still exist, but, you know, it's whatever. Okay, so hang on. So the subs are going towards Aiden Chronicles, which I spelled wrong. And then Radix, Chronicles, and JRPGs. And I never actually got to say thank you yesterday for the big donation, so thank you very, very much. Thank you. So what I was trying to say, you need to watch this, VOD Sobekov. This is, oh my god, this is so bad. Oh, I think the music might be stopping finally. This is mind rot. This is straight mind rot. It's not done yet, by the way. Although I'm not sure we'll see it, because we did this on easy with no achievements. But yeah, there's a post credits. Okay, well, we'll just let that sit for a minute. Over the years, people think of games, and there's 2 games I usually bring up when it comes to, you know, awful outros, right? Mass Effect 3, which just had an atrocious outro, and Neverwinter Nights 2, vanilla. And I've pointed to both of those for years as the examples of a game that just drives right off of a cliff at the ending, right? I don't mean like it gets worse or it has issues. A lot of games have issues with the outro. I mean games where the games just go right after the outro, or in the outro, excuse me. But in all honesty, the example that's always been in the back of my mind for a game that has one of the just the most diving off a cliff outros ever is this one. But I can't talk about it because it's so incredibly spoilery. Like, if I say Mass Effect 3's ending is awful, we could talk about that without really spoiling Mass Effect 3, or even Mass Effect. If I talk about Neverwinter Nights 2's ending, which I'll tell you right now is rocks fall and everyone dies, I'm not really spoiling anything. But I cannot convey to you Third Birthday's ending without saying, by the way, you accidentally jumped into your big sister and smeared her across time, and you've been fighting pieces of her and your own body, which has infested your friends the entire game. It's hard to convey that without just giving it away. Oh. Yeah, BT dubs. Time cancer. Oh. Yeah. Anyways, do I think the devs are proud of this game? No. I know they are not. I have seen interviews. Alright, so let's fast forward this a little bit. Yeah, a lot of people worked on this game. Remember, 2 studios worked on this game. And it had a fairly large budget. Remember, this was an expensive chonker to make. And this was supposed to be a cash cow game. Did I ever say thank you to Jay Palmer? Oh my god, I think I didn't, actually. Yeah, Nomura probably... I did. It was Halo, Secret Weapons Over Nobody, and Skysea. How much did it sell? Well, hang on. So it sold decently, because that's how that works. I mean, it's the same reason I bought it, right? Oh yeah, there was tons of buzz leading into it. Here we go. So, here's the thing. Let's. I'm about to give you a fact, but there needs to be data. Remember, statistics by themselves are worthless. We need to interpret data, right? So this game sold about 500,000 copies. Most of that was in Japan. Now that sounds kind of low, but honestly, for a PSP game of this era, that's a pretty solid number. As I've said before, 6 digits is pretty good. 7 digits is great, right? It's idiot executives who think that that's low. So 500K, that's pretty solid. But it's not what they were looking for. And the game was very expensive. 3-year development across 2 studios. Think about that for a second. Yeah, that's actually solid sales figures, but I don't know the specifics because they don't have to release this information. But I do know this game lost money. I do know it was a financial failure. Just because it was so expensive. Oh, this is great. So this is the IGN review, I'm guessing. The Third Birthday is great game, no question. It has depth, great production values throughout, despite the disappointing script, and the raw mechanics give PSP gamers a mostly satisfying RPG shooter, despite the system's inherent flaws. As gamers prepare for the NGP and North Americans get a refresher course on Parasite Eve via the PlayStation Network, we're hoping The Third Birthday is a sign that bigger things are planned for Aya Brea. This series deserves it. For those of you who don't remember, this franchise has been dead since 2010. .5 out of 10 for this trash. This is getting the garbage tag, by the way. I didn't think it was going to. Real talk. Real talk. I forgot the gameplay was as frustrating and awful as it was. What I was expecting out of this, and the actual reason I put this first, was I was expecting this to be like an easing into the awful games. I thought the gameplay would be a net positive, or at least close to 0, and then the story would be really, really, really low. I always knew the story was going to be crap, because I played this game before. I mean, no, Sabacom, but at the same time, you do worse things. save our data here. Just gonna put that at the top. In case I ever want to play this game again. No. No way, Jake Palmer. Oh, did it not play? So it looks like we didn't actually get it. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. So here's the thing. I actually went looking for the shower scene, and other than some stupid AI upscaling, I couldn't find it. I think YouTube doesn't like the shower scene being on YouTube. I'll give you a hint. It's the shower scene. It's called that for a reason. But there is a post-credits scene, which, let's see if I can find that. Actually, I'll just do it over here. Give me a second. Because it's her 3rd birthday.
Hey everyone.
Shut up. Okay, this does not include the post-credits. Okay, I found it. Hang on. Give me a second. Get off my screen. Alright,
What is that? What is that? What the hell is that?
So they're being attacked by Twisted. Reminder, Twisted were Aya smeared across time. So they shouldn't exist because Aya has been retroactively removed from time. Continuing.
You're not the only one who's scared. Who am I? I don't...
Sure. So apparently this might be it. So for those of you out there. Anyway, so the idea there, the hook, in case you're missing that, was that that's Aya. Even though that makes absolutely no sense. Moving on. In order to earn this, you have to beat the game, I think it's 30 or 50 times, I forget which. But it's a lot. Or complete at least one chapter, having successfully gotten every single achievement in that chapter. Yeah, notice she's moaning the entire time. And yeah, by this point in the game, you know who this is. I mean, that's Aya Brea's body. But that's not who you're looking at, is it? And that's it. You unlock that. That's a reward. And you know, we were talking about this yesterday. If this was, I'll use a specific example, DOA beach volleyball, that wouldn't bother me nearly as much. Really. Like, you can go ahead and mock me or belittle me or put down me, but honestly, if I'm getting a game with attractive women, which I play in order to look at attractive women, unlocking one of them having a shower feels like correctitude, right? Like that feels like that's something that should be in that game, right? But that's not the game we're playing. Right? We're playing Third Birthday. We're playing Parasite Eve 3. And, you know, Eve. Anyways, so let's throw this up. I'm going to have to leave that muted. Yeah, I mean, that's fair, Archeon Vale. I suppose I can't argue against that. Yeah, you want to softcore it up? Sure. Weird flex, but why not? Okay, so let me pull up the audit sheet here. Action third person. Here we go. Because that's what this is. Right, if you're wondering, the reason it's muted is there is no game audio, so whatever. Any more story positives? We'll see. That's what the audit's for. I hope this has been as enjoyable for you all as it has for me. Because, I gotta say, and I do intend the pun here, getting to that awful, awful outro was like a birthday after the garbage slog of the gameplay. I really forgot. I really legitimately forgot that the gameplay was as dull as it is. My gosh. And then getting to that awful trash ending and just taking the baseball bat to it is something I've looked forward to for actual years. The moment you added this game to the list, Mr. Red, I think it was you who added this one, I was just like, oh man, I get to rip that to shreds. And in the back of my mind, I was like, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I'm being too harsh, you know? Maybe, no, it was worse. It was worse. I've talked about this. I've talked about this so many times. Because, I mean, oh God. Because when you really analyze something, one of the things I enjoy about analyzing a work is bad tends to become worse, because, duh, but also good tends to become better. And that was worse. That was so much worse. Yeah, let's just get some random Final Fantasy music. Let's remember some FFs that aren't garbage. How's that sound? Alright, so I gotta do a little time adjustment thing really quick. Give me a second, please. I am really curious where this is gonna land when I call the number. Yeah, sure thing, Jay Palmer. So which is worse than expected? Oh, remember this. I mean, which one? So you mean which one was worse at being worse than expected? Or better at worse than expected? More worse than expected. I'm going to go with other M, honestly. It's just, yeah. I wasn't ready for that. Okay. I think they're garbage, Elizar, and I punch them in the face. That's a good question. Could someone do me a favor? It's a little early because I still have to do the audit, but could someone give me, like, the bottom 10? I just don't like anything about the stories, Elizar. They're racist, they're gross, they're horrifying, they're Lovecraftian. Like, there's nothing good there for me. You don't have to give me the numbers, just give me the games, right? I don't even know how to calculate that, Archeon Vale. I'd have to think about that. Yes, Morganite. As you can see, because we got the speedrun going. Literally, it says, I just noticed it says in this description, no sound. Yeah. Yeah, that works. See you on Google. Oh, I hope so, Ben One Eye. Because, yeah, so I don't think, I hope Ross is here to hear this. I don't think Echo the Dolphin is going to be that far down, because I look forward to being wrong about this. By memory, Echo is mostly a fine game until the last stage. Speaking of absolutely garbage outros. We'll probably be cheating in Echo, by the way. Prince of Persia is an old game. It also doesn't have that much meat on the bones, and as we've actually demonstrated, games that just don't have that much meat can only score so badly, like Ultima 1. Warcraft 1? That one might manage it. That one's pretty bad. And then we have VTMB 2, which, who knows, right? That's a huge unknown. Yes, we're playing the Genesis Echo, Morganite. So let's see here. To tomorrow. Let's see. Secret of the Stars, Starfield, Paper Mario Sticker Star, DMC2, Quest 6. You know, honestly, the fact that Quest 64 has continued to hold that far down of a slot is vaguely impressive to me. Echo's an extraordinarily short game. If I knew what I was doing, I'd beat it today. Even with the paperwork I have to catch up after third birthday. Sure, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole, Elizar, but if you want to go for it, go for it. Yeah, so it should be in the next thing, right? Hang on. Is next not updated? No, it is. So we're going to do Warcraft 1, then we're going to kind of interrupt the awful block and do VTMB 2. Then we're going to go do Pokemon Red. Because I want Pokemon Red and Pokemon Violet right next to each other. I'm looking forward to Pokemon Red, believe it or not. Listen, Plutonia. We'll see. Wait, assassinatory is a word? Oh my god, it is. Wow. Yeah, it is the adjective form of assassination. Wow. Okay, sure. I'll take that. Yeah, Elizar, I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole. There's nothing guaranteed to piss people off more, and I mean in a way that leads to polemic stuff, than religion. Nothing. Nothing in human existence gets that bad. You think Star Wars fans are bad? What's the... I don't know. Assassinatey was what I was trying to type, and it was like, did you mean assassinatory? And I'm like... then I looked it up separately. Assassinatorily. I mean... Okay, sorry, I had to jot something down really quick here. English is fascinating. Someone linked in Discord very recently, I think it was Discord, a wonderful thing, which was like, Aaron, let me see if I can just find it really quick. It'll probably be under memes. Although that wholesome meme Bregwin linked was fantastic. I need to share that with my sister. I'm not going to be able to find it quickly, am I? It was the one about English. Oh, here it is. Okay, you ready for this? Okay. Here's how... Yeah, that's the one, that's the one. She told the paladin she killed the goblin. Now add the word only anywhere in that sentence. Only she told the paladin that she killed the goblin. She only told the paladin she killed the goblin. She told only the paladin that she killed the goblin. She told the only paladin that she killed the goblin. She told the paladin only that she killed the goblin. She told the paladin that only she killed the goblin. She told the paladin that she only killed the goblin. She told the paladin that she killed only the goblin. She told the paladin that she killed the only goblin. Oh, and of course the last one, which is she told the paladin that she killed the goblin only. English. Alright, sorry, back to... I need to finish this stupid audit. I want to get to Echo today. I'm sure Ross wants me to get to Echo today. And to no one else. I need to open the window. It's getting warm in here. I need to move Rick Berman here somewhere. Ugh. Yeah, she killed the only goblin. She told the only paladin she killed. Only she told the only paladin she killed the only goblin. Well, I hope you'll be able to see it, Samicom. Oh, I feel free to make fun of English because I speak it. That's how that works, right? I can make fun of Star Wars because I like Star Wars. That's how the license works. Sorry, someone's doing yard work. I can mute myself if I need to. If it bugs you. I agree, Savacom. See, the thing about... I mentioned this earlier. Echo has terrible controls, and it does, and an awful outro. But otherwise, I don't think it'll be that bad. I look forward to being wrong. It'll have better brickwork. It has to do with his build and the fact that he's using the revolver Arcambale. If I'm remembering correctly. Oh yeah, so the eldest is currently learning Spanish and hates the fact that every single word has a gender. Because it's just another impediment to everything. Writing. I'd say which game are we up to, but there's no challenge in that. No bonus points if you guess what game this is from. So that's 19 negatives to outro on the story axis. Wait. Yeah, I think I thought of a couple more. So what's that? So that's actually 20 negatives. Yeah, we're finally going to play a dolphin. It's going to be great. And we have played as a cat. I hope to play Little Kitty Big City where we can actually play as a cat finally. I really did. I had another negative I was going to jot down for that. Oh, it was for the secret ending. That was it. That was it. We actually already played Stray. I wasn't a huge fan of it, to be quite honest with you. First of all, it wasn't a cat game, which was honestly one of my bigger complaints. But second of all, it wasn't much of a game. Story was fine. I kind of liked what they did with the story, but there wasn't game there, you know? Like, there was less game in that than, like, that fricking Volcano High game we played. Well, I've played a little bit of Little Kitty Big City, and I actually liked the game aspect of that, so we'll see. Like, at least I can actually jump places and have interactions and things rather than just going on the defined path. So real question, has IGN ever given a game 1 out of 10? Someone go look that up while I'm doing this. This is your homework. Professor Law. I'm dead serious. I'm actually curious. Is there an IGN game with a 1 out of 10? And what is it? What game deserves that? What dregs do you have to reach for IGN to acknowledge that it's bad? The Day Before? Yeah, okay, okay. I'll give you that. Because that is literally a scam game. That is what we call an objectively bad game. Which, you know I don't like to use that word. Oh my god, it's a per-core game. Oh my god, Evo. Okay, All the Bravest would qualify too, because once again, that is not a game. And you know I don't like using that terminology, because even terrible games are games, right? But no. All the Bravest wasn't a game, it was a screensaver that you paid for. I gave 7 negatives to over-sexualization of this game. And you know what's funny? I completely stand by that. Extreme painful. Oh, hang on. A scam artist wants to steal my stuff right now. Oh, God, my stuff's stolen. Extreme Paintball. I actually don't know what that is. That's a rarity. Okay, now let's finish the gameplay side of this. We'll look at their 10 out of 10, Stormmage Felix. Oh no, I already gave it. Mega Man 2? No. No, there's no way... Oh, you made Mega Man 2 DOS, don't you? Oh, on the iPhone. Okay, that's actually worse. That's actually worse. Sticker Star? Oh god, was it? Because I remember talking about that recently. It was some terrible game we covered recently. It got a 10 out of 10. No, okay, Sticker Star was 8.3. Still. Sticker Star is a worse game than this, that's true. It was Deathloop. It was Deathloop. That was it. Yeah. Lie to me. Lie to me, IGN. I haven't actually done the audit part yet, Mr. Red. That's the thing. I'm just doing the boring audit right now. Deathloop had so much potential. I think that's what pisses me off. I was excited about that game. Would I rather play Deathloop than this? Yes. I had to think about that for a second, but yes. Yeah, Deathloop was bad, but it wasn't this nonsense. A lot of Deathloop's problems boiled down to walkthroughitis, boring, and slog. This game also had a slog problem, but like in a different expression. Sorry, I know some people like The Last of Us 2 for actual reasons, but can I just say... You know what I mean, right? Some games, movies, books, shows, they're the things you're expected to vote for best, right? They're the prestige perks. So you have to vote for that because that's the best one. That's there's something, it's a social thing, right? It's a fear of ostracization if you don't go along with the crowd. Which is funny, because the exact opposite is also human nature, contrarianism. Some people will actively say they don't like big things because they want to be more distinct and unique. Both are a problem for the same reason, and that reason is because you're not being genuine. If you really think Halo is the best game ever, that's fine, because you actually think that. If you really think that Last of Us 2 is the best game ever, then at least you actually think that. If you're going against the crowd to be different, or you're going with the crowd to be part of the crowd, you're wrong. No, midichlorians don't exist. Like, if you think Halo 2 is the best game ever, and that's your real opinion, awesome. If you think that because it's Halo, or because other people say it's the best game ever, nuh-uh, right? I really have, Walker. It's been wonderfully cleansing, let me tell you. Especially since we're about to hit the lore block. Give me a couple weeks. I got nothing in my immediate future except for smashing through that, so that's going to be great. See, Silksong is currently in the middle of that exact same thing, because a lot of people have been smashing Silksong because they want to be contrarian, or overpraising Silksong because they want to go with the crowd. I believe you, Ect, when you say it's a fantastic game, right? You, the individual person. But I've been seeing a lot of both of these crowds lately. And that's why I've just kind of pushed all of that out and been like, I'll get there when I get there, right? I'll see for myself. Same thing with Expedition 33, by the way. Same exact cycle. Willius Caesar, there's this guy named Palpatine, and he's off banging all of the women because Ian McDiarmid has game. Yep. Palpatine is up there with Benjamin Franklin. Yes, Mr. Red. Do it. Do it. Do it. That's right. Give me a couple weeks, Blade Default. We'll get there. We'll get there. Something will probably be funded by then. Don't worry, I'm going to put it after Violet. But then... then we'll get to my games. I've been looking forward to that. Now that I've got a place where I'm not sleeping on an inflatable with constant blisters on my hands from the cat. I've heard really good stuff about Rogue Trader, but it does apparently... I've also heard that it has pretty much all of the same flaws that all of the, Owlcat Studios' other stuff has. So, like, Kingmaker but better is pretty much the thing. Yep, time to ban people. How's the new house? It is a fixer-upper. At the moment, I am taking it a bit easy, because I am older than I used to be. I know that's shocking. And so it is more difficult to recover. So even though the actual move was literally a week ago, I am actually still in a fairly large amount of pain, and I'm still recovering. And that's going to be unpleasant. And will continue to be unpleasant. So I'm still, like I said, I'm still in recovery. But at some point, I will actually be able to start finishing all the work I have to do. Hasn't sold yet, J. Palmer. 50's here, Brightman. And it shows. I hate the staircase. The staircase's stairs are too narrow, I guess is the word. So I quite literally have to walk down sideways because my feet are too long. And it creaks the entire way. So yeah, I double hate the staircase. I don't really care, Morganite. I just don't like that kind of staircase. If I was living by myself, it depends on who I'm living with. I realized how that sentence sounds. Let me start that over again. One of the things I've always wanted a house of my own, assuming that is a straight up fantasy. I'm going to sprout wings before I own a home at this point in my life. Would be a place where I can have a guest room, right? It may not be a guest room full time, but if someone wants to come visit, like family or friends, or my incredibly real Canadian girlfriend, then I kind of want there to be a place they can stay, right? Rather than the couch, which is unacceptable, the floor, which is worse, even with an inflatable, or a nearby hotel, right? Seven boss negatives. Now you're probably thinking, oh man, that's not that many. And honestly, the bosses were mostly just bad. So that makes sense. There were worse parts of the game than the bosses. How overpriced is housing? This house we're currently in was $90,000 cheaper 2 years ago. It's not a very big house. You know what irritates me most about that? I don't want to, like, get too much into polemic-y, but the thing that irritates me most about that is it's such a solved problem. Some people, I've seen some politicians, even Democrat politicians, say, we need to build more houses. No, we don't. We have plenty of houses. At least here in the States. I'm actually not sure about in other countries, but the issue we're having is not the quantity of houses. It is the price of the houses. We have enough housing to house everyone in this country individually. I think it's like 1.2 times over, something like that. It's actually a multi-stage problem, Lord Harrimont, but regardless of all of the things causing this issue, it boils down to the fact that we have plenty of houses. And people cannot afford them. Yeah, honestly, I do legitimately think that the root cause is that houses are commodified. Housing, I should say, is commodified. I have put some actual thought into this and some actual research into this, and the more you boil it down, that's the root of a lot of these issues. So the fact that people are allowed to treat housing as investment and a means of procuring funding, money, and generational wealth, you nix that, and a lot of other problems that are connected to that go away. Doesn't fix everything, obviously. That's not how life works. But if you wanted me to play the one change game, that would be it. Looks like level design. Whoever asked earlier what the single thing is that got the most negatives. Go figure. Do I think people should be allowed to buy multiple houses? Yeah, I was gonna say, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. 2. You can have 2 houses. We have plenty of houses to accommodate people having a summer home, right? And there are people who are not wealthy assholes who have legitimate, real reasons to have a second home during the winter or summer, right? Health reasons. Never mind just comfort and, like, you know, life decency reasons. That's not a bad idea. The initial house is pretty low taxing, but, like, you buy a second house and the taxes go up substantially. Yeah, exactly. Someone with 2 houses isn't a problem. My uncle, who is now dead, had, I want to say, like 15 houses. He wasn't very well off. I mean, obviously he was better off than I am, but my point is, in my family, he was considered one of the more poor people. Yeah, landlording is awful, and always has been. That's the problem, really. Is that excuse me. It is my opinion that the problem is that landlording has always been a terrible stain on human history, and we're still dealing with the artifact design and the cultural leftovers of that, right? Like the fact that there's aspects of it that used to exist, and now we're dealing with. Even though they don't apply anymore, we should have moved past that or whatever. Okay, so now the real audit. I've done the boring audit. Let's do it. Well, I mean, you could just pay inordinate taxes, push-ups. Also, if the only argument you could give is that, well, that would bother me, even if it would benefit dozens of other people, that's not a great argument. That pretty much is the rich person argument right there. I mean, yeah, people are homeless, but I don't want to have to sell stuff. Now we have tons of examples of that lately. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. I'm gonna give it a negative for banter, I think. Because there was banter, and it was pretty bad. AI, 100% act. You can quote me on this. The AI bubble will burst before this time next year. Guaranteed. Oh, no, exactly, Lord Herman. That's the problem. Like I said, there was this senator from California, I remember her, because she was giving the speech about the housing problem. And she was like, we just need to make cheaper, crappier houses so we have enough houses. And I remember just being like, no! You're an idiot! Tell you what, push-ups, if you can give me a valid reason why you think you should have multiple houses while other people don't, I'll go ahead and give you a fair hearing. If you can't, though, you lose everything, including all your houses. So it's actually extremely simple, Lord Harrimont. No, it is. And I'm going to tell you this very, very, very simply, okay? So, I am interested in solving the problem. Point to me to any major politician on the planet who is actually interested in solving the problem. Why do you think games like this are made? Do you think it's because they were deliberately malfeasant? Do you think there was malice or sabotage involved? No, it's because nobody involved actually gave enough of a damn to bother. They were just doing their job, their daily job, while they were doing 3 other jobs simultaneously. Yeah, a politician's goal is to maintain their position, and probably their money. Why would they deliberately go after one of the most fundamental aspects of economic systems? That's suicide. That's political suicide. No rich person wants to reduce the amount of wealth the rich have. I wouldn't say this is made by committee. Also, I love that spelling of committee. Yeah, this is a systemic change situation. There is no one solution that's going to fix this. Oh, I have no idea, Saber for Wife. Yeah, almost every politician, I'll limit myself to the states in this case, is there on top of the pile specifically because of the fact that they benefit from the hardship and suffering of others, at the behest of the rich and wealthy who cause that suffering deliberately to take more of a piece of the pie than they really should have. It's motive. It's self-interest. That's it. It's really, really basic. There have occasionally been people who say, you know, maybe we shouldn't be stupid, short-sighted, and evil. And those people usually don't get past, like, the mayor phase of their careers. Because you gotta work up to, like, you know, anything with any real power, right? State Congress or federal Congress or whatever. So you gotta kind of, like, inch your way up, right? Most of the people who are actually interested in solving anything get stopped way further down on the system. Because nobody wants that. That's why I worry when people talk about revolution, Noctis Exile. Let me tell you a little bit of a hint, okay? Anybody who's legitimately pushing for violent revolution is being pushed into that by some rich asshole who thinks they will profit from it. That's been true for the last couple thousand years, by the way. That's nothing new. What is he doing on the speedrun? Oh, waiting for the helicopter to crash. I am 100% in favor of crushing monopolies, unless they should exist, because once again, blanket rules don't really benefit anybody. Some things should be monopolies. Electricity is an example I've used many times. But we should probably have more than 5 major grocery chains in the country, right? Or whatever the number's down to at this point. Yeah, if we get to the point of violence, as far as overthrow or revolution or whatever, things have gotten bad for everybody. Literally everybody. Now, you can be pushed into that. As I've said many, 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 many times, and in fact, this is such an old topic. This is actually one of our first polemic topics ever. What happens is rich assholes, because it's always rich assholes, push the envelope of how much we are willing to tolerate. And we're willing to tolerate a lot. As long, you know, because we don't really want to break the status quo. We don't want to deal with all the mess and the noise and the violence and the death and the cost that is associated with upsetting the status quo. So we put up with a lot until they push too far, and they always push too far. Usually about food, historically speaking. And then once that push has gone a little bit too far, we push through, right? The envelope has burst. Violent, horrible death happens, and then we have a reset. And then that just repeats. I'm not sure, Archeonville. There's so much going on, I haven't been able to keep track of everything at this point, which is, of course, a deliberate strategy, by the way. Yeah, it's at that point we bring up the guillotine, and that's a bad thing. But at a certain point of being pressed... Yeah, exactly, Federation Bill. Like, once the guillotine has been pulled out, everyone has lost. And that's life. Sometimes that's where it goes, because idiots push people too far. And it really... I hate to keep emphasizing that. If the rich assholes were just, like, content, right? To just kind of let people live and exist and have their video games and their music and their movies and food and houses and whatever, and just be like, alright, whatever. Fine. People will put up with a lot. But no. Gotta push. Gotta push. Actually, yeah. You want to know... You know what? I'm going to go ahead... I'm going to go ahead and take full credit for this. You know how you can tell when things are bad? It's when I can't shut up about it. Because I don't like even thinking about any of this crap. Never mind talking about it. I will gladly be the measuring stick of how good or bad things are. I'm also going to repeat my refrain. Can we make politics boring again, please? Please? Like, I want to know if they're changing the percentage rate of outlier loans on specific types of grains by 0.05%. You know? Yes! I want that! Give me that news! Yeah, breaking news. Nothing. That would be great. Found another negative. Storyboarding. Yeah, there's decades where weeks happen and weeks when decades happen. I'm gonna argue negative for that too. Okay, so that is a negative 63 to story. Wow. Oh, wow. No, the point is nothing has to actually be happening. Like, it has to be actually boring. You can't just say it's boring. All's quiet on the Western Front doesn't really, you know. Have you ever been to like a town hall meeting? Oof. I wish town hall meetings were boring again. Yeah, exactly, been one. Alright, I'm going to focus in a little bit. I've been letting myself take too long here because I'm just chatting with you. I want to get to Echo today, so I'm going to ignore chat for just a second. So, you're baiting me. I see how it is. Baiting me with politics. Okay, there technically are cosmetics in this game. I don't think I'm going to give them a positive. Especially given how you have to earn them. I have no idea, Jake Palmer. I should stop reading chat. Just said it wasn't good. No positive for the sexy bunny outfit. I'm sorry. Look, she's 3 years old. Okay, Evo, come on. I do find it funny that this game was named Third Birthday, and it makes sense if you understand what it means, but it's like such a nonsensical, stupid title, just like 358 over 2 days, which makes sense if you know what it means, but is once again a ridiculous title. By the way, came out pretty much, if not the same year, then very close to this. Go figure. Same team, or similar team, excuse me. Because a lot of the people who worked on those Kingdom Hearts games also worked on this. And Crisis Core. Which, yeah. They really liked that core thing. I don't know why they didn't call it Parasite Eve Third Birthday, because it even just kind of rolled like Parasite Eve 2, Parasite Eve Third Birthday. But no. We gotta call it Enterprise, not Star Trek Enterprise. It's very important. Oh, that's true. The term Parasite Eve might have been licensed. I don't actually remember that. Yeah, that's the one, Jay Palmer. Replayability. I have to give a positive to that. It's actually specifically the second positive. The entire game is built around replayability. Kind of, yes, Metroid has. It's actually way more complicated than that. Think of it like this way. The eventual stew that was FF7 started in the same pod that Parasite Eve also came out of, along with Xenogears, and Secret of Mana, and Chrono Cross, and Chrono Trigger, and I think that's all of them. It's because I have the window open. Act. Sorry, I was just checking something real quick. I think you've officially lost your mind, Talia. Sorry. God, that ratio, it's a 1.54% ratio on story. That is bonkers. I mean, I didn't like Parasite Eve 1, but I know plenty of people do. And I don't really know Parasite Eve 2 that well, because I've actually never played it. Oh, wow. Hey, Dream Whisperer. Bip, 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 bip. Hang on, that's too good of a song for this. Good lord. Good lord. Oh my god. Okay, hang on. Ladies and gentlemen, third birthday. Negative 63 to story. That is tied with Other M, but with higher density. That's 6.3, 6 1/3 negatives per hour, which is almost entirely because of, you know, because the outro. And 1.54% story ratio. That's actually a new record. Other M and Force Unleashed Wii both had higher percentages than that. Gameplay, negative 52. That's a record. For at least for third-person shooters. That is 5 1/4 negatives per hour, and a ratio of 9.38%, which actually isn't our lowest. Mega Man Legends 1 and Drakengard both beat that. But still, that gives us a golden number of... Can I get a drum roll, please? So let's look at our bottom 5, shall we? For no reason. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Quest 64 had a negative 288.51. Devil May Cry 2, so that's our 5th worst. Devil May Cry 2 has a negative 309.4. And Third Birthday has a negative 334.04, which is now our new 4th worst game. And it looks like Mr. Red wins that. Pretty close, actually. Yeah, this had to work. So I found myself chewing on that, right? I was directly comparing this game to Devil May Cry 2. But the more I thought about it, the more I agreed, because Devil May Cry 2 was bad, right? It was pretty freaking bad. But this game was worse in 2 specific respects. Gameplay and story. No, I'm not actually being facetious. Yeah, Devil May Cry 2 was an incomplete game. A functional game, but incomplete. The gameplay was boring, but there. And that was kind of the end of that, right? And the story was non-existent. In this game, the gameplay is frustrating and aggravating, and the story is garbage. So yeah, I do actually think this game is worse than Devil May Cry 2. I stand by that. I think it deserves the throne there. A 4th worst. That's awful. So yeah, so Mr. Red wins. Let me jot that down here. I don't have that figure in front of me. Give me a second. So that's going towards Buckshot, Roulette, Fallout, Vegas, and the Comedy Block. You missed a new 4th worst game, random. Let's see. So, Devil May Cry 2, and we did play both playthroughs, was 10 hours on the dot. This game, and we only played through it once, was 9.88 hours. Yeah. Okay, I got paperworky stuff to do. I need to eat something. And hopefully then you can see Echo. Do we think Echo will No, there's no way, right? Right? There's no way. There's no way.